Big Boy's
Let's go.
Neighborhood. Man, Big Sean, welcome back to the neighborhood, man.
It's been a minute.
I know it's been a minute, man, but it's
It's been
crazy
a minute.
how the world has changed since the
Ah,
last time we sat down in here. You know what I'm saying? It's you know, it's a
do you think
different
it's for the
world.
better?
Do you know what, man? I think it's when we say for the better, there's a lot of people that's learning, and then there's some people that paid, you know, a hell of a tuition into the school of experience for us. You know what I'm saying? But I
Hmm.
think it put us on a sit down that we probably wouldn't have had. And I think it give us
That was
a
much needed.
yeah, an appreciation. And we're still seeing things. You know, it's not just the pandemic, it's everything, bro. It's what we've been witnessing with, you know, the killings, the shootings,
Racism.
the racism, you know, 45 in the office, you know what I'm saying? So it's just a lot where you starting to think like, okay, what am I gonna learn from everything that I'm seeing right now? What kind of person do we become? You know what I'm
Cause if we
saying?
don't learn from, cause if we don't learn from this, we some dumb motherfuckers, boy.
Yeah. Hey, bro, if we don't learn from this, that's true. We ain't learning at
And
all,
it's
bro.
and it's we and it's we.
Yeah.
I'm learning, you learning.
Yeah.
There's a lot of points we know, a lot of things that we can point out and say and defend and but if we don't come out from this together,
Yeah.
if
And
we
better,
don't learn from
bro.
this,
That's what I tell people, man. We got to come out better, Sean, than what we went in. And the same with, you know, the world is changing and we seeing a lot of unemployment. We seeing a lot of furloughs. We seeing a lot of, you know, destruction. We're seeing a lot. But
it's
also this is
terrible.
that time too where I tell people, I say, man, what you wanted to do in life, now is that time. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I wanted to start my store, do it. I wanted to go do it. You know what I'm saying?
By any means.
Yeah, do it because it's forced you to pivot. You got to think. We usually, man. I don't even think I ever got a phoner from you. You know what I'm saying? Like
I
you
know.
always come to the neighborhood, and
Absolutely.
now to be on Zoom, I never heard of Zoom to the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I
but
know. So here's another question. I know that you interviewing me, but do you think that this is ever gonna return back to how it was, or do you think that a lot
no,
of these ways we are experiencing are a new way of normal?
new way of normal, bro. I think so, man.
I
You
agree.
know, when people say, "Oh, we're gonna go back to the norm," you got to think, bro. And I don't know how long you've been flying, or even if you were flying before 9/11. But you do you remember when you could walk a family member to the gate at the
Yes.
airport, or you could be at the gate with a sign when they got off? You could take a gallon of water onto the plane. You didn't have to walk through TSA. You didn't have to take your shoes off. You didn't, you know, they weren't throwing your water away when you got there and it was over a certain amount of ounces. Like we got used to that, looking at pillars in front of the federal buildings and getting on an elevator and you can only go to that floor. Just certain things we got used to. You could bring a lighter on the plane. And since 9/11 and after, a lot of things have changed where they became the new norm, you know? So I think we're going to have something of this that we're going to have for possibly forever and a day.
I think so too. My dad gave 35 years to the airline industry and he got laid off. And I remember how hard it was on him, on his mental and
Yeah.
his, it was, he gave his whole life to that industry. He started off a flight attendant, became a manager, and worked his way up to another manager, and he got laid off. And I just remember that it was one of the most detrimental things to ever happen to him, man. So it's like, I know that that's happening tenfold around the country,
Now.
and people are going through some of the hardest times of their life. And, as blessed as I am, I can still feel, I can't say I necessarily feel what they're going through, but I can feel the energy. I can feel it weighing heavy on my heart. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's like,
And plus,
I
bro,
do try
we've
my
been
best
there.
to help.
We've been
Yeah.
there. And not only have we been there, we are there. Because I'm
Mm-hmm.
pretty sure with you too, man, any real family, any real friends, you have become the person that picked them up, that's going to get them through. You know, and
Yeah,
you've probably been doing it
absolutely.
forever in the past and in the rear view mirror, and
Just
now
like you.
you're doing it through the windshield. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you definitely, man. Just because you're in a position and there's a new album out, bro, your core is still where it needs to be, and that's with family. And speaking of the new album, bro, with Detroit 2, during a pandemic, you know what I'm saying? And the world has
Mm-hmm.
changed. And we saw just a lot of growth, it seemed like, in Big Sean anyway.
Mm-hmm.
With the actual album, bro, do you feel like you let us in even more with Detroit too?
Absolutely. I felt like it was, I was going through an experience where I was confused about the way I was feeling. I was confused about myself, and I had to tap in and take time to rediscover myself, rediscover where I was at, why I was feeling like this, you know, and I had to learn better communication. You know what I'm saying? I come from a family where both my grandparents were in World War II, both amazing people, but they didn't know how to express their emotions. They didn't. They obviously loved us, and they got trickled down to me. And it's like I didn't know how to really express myself, even though even though I write all my music. It was just like I had things in me that I had to heal and figure out. And luckily, I was in a position where, you know, I forced the time to take to myself because I was feeling burnt out and I was feeling broken inside, you know, and I didn't know what was going on. I felt like I was at a wall that was going to fall on me and I had to figure out how to climb over it, you know. So I took a lot of time to myself because I wasn't happy. No matter what I tried to do, I just wasn't happy, bro. So it's like,
Isn't that scary too, though, Sean? Where you
it was,
think like, man, I'm supposed to be happy, why I'm not?
bro, to the point where I was ready to end my life, you know, a couple nights. So it's like, I didn't know what was going on. You know, it's like, I had no reason I felt like to feel like this way. But then I realized that my feelings are indications that something's off. So I just had to follow them. So I took time, I did therapy, I spent more time with my family, I did things, tried new things. And, you know, when I was trying to make music, I wasn't coming up with anything that I thought was good, you know? So it was like, that was the real low point because it was like, music is my happy place.
Right.
So when I couldn't come up with anything that I was really liking, I just felt hopeless, you know, super depressed, too much anxiety. So what I did was I just took a break from everything, you know, because when you come from a mentality in a place like Detroit or a place like LA or wherever, it's like your mentality is once you get on, you got to stay on their necks. You got to keep going. You got to
Yeah.
keep going. But that wasn't it for me. You know, I was burnt out, bro.
But
And
with that being said too, bro, like there's always a, man, I got one more show. Okay, I'll do one more tour.
that's
Like
where I
it's
was at.
hard, yeah, and it's hard to sit yourself down. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy that you did sit yourself down, but it probably wasn't immediate either. You know what I'm
No, it
saying?
wasn't.
Yeah.
Because nobody taught me how to do it. I didn't know how to do it. And it was just like I had to follow my own path, I guess, because, you know, people I'm working with, they want me to come on, man, what's up?
Yeah.
We gotta do these deals. What's up, man? You know, that just adds to everything else. Like your business manager telling you, like, man, I don't know what we're gonna do. You know, it's like, okay, man, what about all this work I did? What was that even for then? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So to make a long story short, because that's a whole nother hour interview. You know, once I started working on myself and started realizing I was in control of my feelings for real, unless I gave somebody else that power, it was like I was able to feel happy and be aggressively happy and like expand my way of thinking. And I started getting back to the
Mhm.
music, and it started to be better than ever because it was like an expansion of myself, you know.
And it was
So
real
that's what.
happy because we've experienced fake happy. You know what
Oh
I'm
yeah, no,
saying?
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
people
yeah, yeah.
people looking, you know, like, oh man, yeah, you know, but people don't understand, you know, every time you smiling, you're not really smiling. You know what I'm saying? So you went through fake happy. Do you feel
Oh
like
yeah.
now and there's I don't know where happy is, but do you feel
Mhm.
happier?
I feel happier. I'm gonna keep it real big. I do have days where I have to work. You know, it's a continuous work. It's not like I did the work and I'm done. It's something I'm actively on every day. You know what I'm saying? There are times where I do feel overwhelmed still, even in these times where I don't have to hop on a plane or, you know, go to back appointments or states or whatever. I still do feel a little overwhelmed. Sometimes there are days where I still feel depressed, where I have anxiety, but I'm able to deal with it a lot better. You know what I'm saying? I'm able to handle it. So that is, yes, I do feel happy. You know what I'm saying? To me, like, I make sure that happiness is like, I gotta feel happy. I gotta feel good in everything I do. Because when I do, then everything's good. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, everything gonna be right.
How do you share that with us? You know what I'm saying? Because you're supposed to be, you're Superman, you're Big Sean.
Right.
You're supposed to have, you got it all. But how do you share your vulnerabilities with us when we're in a time, Sean, where everybody got their arms crossed? We love before we hate. We say the most negative things now. You know what I'm saying?
We hate
So
before we love, you mean?
yeah. That's what I meant. We hate exactly. Thank you. We hate
I don't know
before we
why.
love. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And you remember the days of Source Magazine, like, oh man, 5 mics, or you put
Right.
some music out. It was a critic. Now everybody's a critic, and people are saying, oh, I decided was whack, and I never even heard it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people, how do you deal with all that when you're dealing with so much already? Like, how do you shut that clutter off? If you
Man,
can.
it's like you walking in a valley and you see people to the right. In the distance, you see people to the left and they throwing things and they saying things. And it's like, once you go over and entertain them, they get louder.
Right.
And it starts to affect you more. And you start feeling it more. And the things they throwing at you, they might hit you more and hit you harder. But same with the other side. But if you just stay in your valley, if you stay centered, you gonna feel it and you gonna see it and you gonna hear it. But it's just like, you gotta stay on your path because everybody don't like everything for once. I know people who don't like water, okay?
Yeah.
That's what I always gotta remember. If it's people on this earth that don't like what they 70% made of, don't like water,
Oh man.
then there's a lot of people that don't like themselves and they must got bad taste. You feel me?
Right.
So
Easy call, man.
you know
So
what I mean? But everybody is a critic though. Everybody is, and
did you get
my
away
only
from that when you were going through your personal sit down and your mental walk? Did you purposely get away from social media?
Yes, I did. Only because I couldn't take it. It would bring me back to a place where it was like, I'm somebody who cares. When you care about the stuff you do. That's why you're so good at it. That's why you put so much quality into your work, is because you care, right? So it's like, as an artist, my heart wide open. So yeah, I do care what people think about my work. But at the same time, I realized that I can't let that slow me down. There are times where I would focus on that when I could have been way more
Right.
productive than that. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes people just say things to get a reaction, get a rise, and they ain't even thinking about it after that.
Man, so with
So
Detroit 2, the album, bro, I would
mhm.
say great body of work. And there's times, Sean, I don't know if you pop in, you listen, but I say, man, that this dude, like, people mess with you. People understand, like, oh man, I enjoy the album. But sometimes I don't feel like people really see how talented you are and how much of a
Wow.
great writer you are. You know what I'm saying? And with Detroit 2, I see that, you could take us to the club. You could take us,
Mm-hmm.
deep in thought. You know what I'm saying? And you could be braggadocious and have this big bravado, or you can also be vulnerable. And that album represents people. You know what I'm saying? There's some days when we the loudest in the room and we hear. Then there's other
Right.
days where, it's like, damn, we're a little somber. And I think that that's what the album was, bro, is that it
Mm-hmm.
felt like it was just a great album. What I enjoyed too is, Sean, like, I continue to listen because there is no waste of words. You know what I'm saying?
Woo.
Like, there's no waste of words, man. And I felt like, do you think this is your best work? And people always say it's my best work yet. But where you
Right.
are, what you've been through, what you feel, so on and so forth, do you feel like this is your best body of music yet?
Man, first of all, I appreciate you saying that, man. It's like,
It's real though, bro.
you don't even know how many times I rewrote songs. Whew, I'm getting a little emotional because it's like I put a lot of effort into like making sure I don't waste a line, man. So
Mm-hmm.
for you to say that, I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? It's like I wanted to make an album that people didn't know they needed but needed, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like Do I think it's my best work? I don't know, man, because that's just like, sometimes things hit people differently in different times in different ways. To me, it's my best work because I was my best self
Right.
making it,
Yeah.
and it was a execution of me, like, being so real. I'm rapping about having a heart disease on there.
Yeah.
I'm rapping about just like, losing a baby. I'm rapping about things that I
Hey,
probably
Sean,
never would have rapped about.
on Deep Reverence, when we hear that line, was that the first time publicly that we heard that? Like you delivered that through lyrics, or did I miss something?
Now that was my first time that was my first time saying it, you
And
know.
why there? Was it that place? You know, when we say music is therapeutic, was
hmm
that place for you at that time?
Not only was it therapeutic, I feel like it would help somebody else feel like they not alone who going through a similar situation. You feel me? I feel like a lot of music that I was hearing was music that was giving me a certain energy. It was like had me turned, had me feeling like a certain way. But one of the things I was missing personally from music, or maybe I just didn't hear it. I'm not saying it wasn't there, but I just felt the lack of personally, was like people relating to my everyday,
Mm.
relating to what I got going on. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to not only relate, I wanted to motivate, uplift, and inspire. Because that's what I feel like my real purpose is. I don't know if my purpose is all the way rap. I know it's to inspire, and I know I can do that through my rapping, you know?
And when you said we lost the baby, is that
hmm
you and Jhené, or is that, because I'm going to tell you straight up, bro, I don't follow a lot of relationships. So I
Right.
apologize. You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? But is that you and Jhené, or were you involved with someone else, or?
Well, when I talked about this, there are certain things I do want to keep private. You feel
Understood.
me? When I
Understood.
was talking, when I sat and talking, was playing it with Jhené. But I mean, yes, I wasn't, it's definitely something that didn't happen a long time ago. So it's like,
Got you. Got you.
that answers
Understood.
your question. Yeah.
Understood, bro. Understood. And
hmm
that's with all respect when I ask too. You know what I'm saying?
Of course. I
Real
already
talk.
know.
Real talk.
Yeah.
Now,
I
also,
know you got respect for her too. So
yeah,
I know you got some,
easy call.
of
And when
course.
when it comes to y'all making music together, when she jumps on to a project with you, does she charge
Mhm.
you? You know what I'm saying? Or,
No.
oh, okay, okay.
No.
Hey man, she's
No.
another one, bro, that's extremely talented. Like
Sure.
extremely talented, like an old soul. And you know what I'm saying? Like, and she's another
Uh-huh.
one for those I feel like that know Jhene Aiko, they know. And then there's others that just don't know how talented she
hmm
is. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like, that's why she should charge you.
she charges me. She charges me in other ways for sure.
Okay, all right, cool, cool. Well, I don't want to hear too much about that. You know what I'm saying? Was it different
But
releasing an album during a pandemic? And it's not like we got another pandemic to compare it to, but we got
right.
non-pandemic releases and pandemic
Mm,
releases. And it's not like you could have held the album and tried to wait this out because we don't know how long it is.
right.
Were you considering, like, man, how do I release Detroit 2 during a pandemic?
Nah, I
Mm.
just like I was gonna release it earlier in the year, and because I was performing at Coachella and a lot of other festivals, but
Yeah.
once this pandemic hit, I felt like I had to. It was like 80 to 90% done, and I feel like I was a little bit rushing it to get it out, so I just took the extra time and lived through and
Mhm.
really lived these moments too, and there are songs like that I got with Anderson .Paak and like Wale where it's like there is a reflection of some of the stuff that's going on now, and I just
Yeah,
really
that
like,
felt like now.
yeah,
That's now, like that didn't feel like that was already done in January, February. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
So the thing was that song was done in January, but without them on it. It was just me.
Okay.
So that's why my verse, I didn't really talk about a lot of the current things because I wrote that almost a year ago. But when I got Wale on it, he really captured what was going on now, which I appreciated. And then Anderson .Paak, I had an idea to just like freaked the intro a little bit of the song, and he like me and him was already working on something for him, and he did that for me. So it was like it just elevated it. You know, it was real divine timing for me, like with this project. So I'm happy I put it out.
How do
Now.
you pick a collaboration? You know what I'm saying? Because for one, I feel like, damn, when it comes to you, of course you can handle it on your own. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But when I do look at it, I see Nipsey, and I'm going to run through what Post Malone, of course, Ty Dolla $ign, Jhene Aiko, then the stories by Erykah Badu, and the story by Stevie Wonder, bro. Like just with him putting in that kind of like home plate in the, you know what I'm saying? And Dave Chappelle, like those stories by just one of those, you know what I'm saying, is like amazing. And to get 3 of those, and especially by what I feel are icons and kind of in their own way, and icons that's recognized, especially when I saw the Stevie Wonder and I really just heard that. You know what I'm saying? And that's specific. That's not like you just grabbed a sample somewhere and was like, hey man, let's try to clear this. This is for you. You know what I'm saying? So when you see a name like Stevie Wonder on there, bro, Travis Scott, of course, Lil Wayne, you know, and the list goes on. How do you pick who you feel like, man, this person should be on here?
Well, I knew for this album, my last album, I only had like 2 features on it, I think, or 3 at the most. But so I knew it was a sequel to Detroit. When I thought about Detroit, it was like, first of all, I had those stories on the mixtape. I had Snoop and like Jeezy and Common way back, and it was a lot of features on it. So it was like, I want this album to feel like a festival, like a feature-heavy album, because it's all paying homage to Detroit. So for me, it was like bringing a whole festival to the D, and we all just like having fun, performing, and you know, going through the layers that all the things that I feel like Detroit are. You know, that's why the album has so many sides. But the features were just like, it was all, every feature I had in there, it was like we vibe personally, and it happened naturally. It wasn't like a forced thing. It wasn't like a send it in. It was like, you know, I was in the studio with every single person, talked to every single person. Some people took it and sent it back, and you know, it was a beautiful process.
It
but it was
sounds very well thought out, as opposed to I just need a name. You know what I'm saying? Right. It sounds very, very, you know, it felt like it was very thought out. And just with my relationship with Nipsey, bro, when I heard Deep Reverence, you know, you become protective, you know, even when your partner's here. You know what I'm saying? Like that man had so much wisdom, and I felt like there was so much more Nipsey that we were going to have. And of course, with our brother being cut down so early, but also there's so much when he say the marathon continues, bro. We knew what that meant, but now we really know what that means and what it feels like. And when I heard Deep Reverence, first off, when was that recorded? And then did you do your vocal again?
So during what show was that? Beyonce and Jay-Z. I can't think of what was the name? What was the name of it? Huh? Oh yeah, On the Run. My bad, I just couldn't think of the name. On the Run tour, me and Nipsey were there talking backstage together, because we were both coming out with Khaled and kicking in. Hit Boy came up to us like, man, I got something for both of y'all. Like, and we like, I ain't seen Hit Boy in years at that point. And, you know, I was like, okay, let's get up. So me and Nipsey, my producer who signed to me, Amir, he did the intro on Victory Lap. And me and Nipsey were sending hella tracks back and forth to each other. Like, man, we got to get up. We got to do this. We got to do that. And they just kept not getting finished, right? So I remember I was working with Hit Boy, and Nip was working with Hit Boy as well. And Hit Boy is a connector. You know, he's like, there's a collab I just did on Nas' album where that wouldn't, even though me and Nas are cool, it wouldn't have happened if Hit Boy really wouldn't have connected it. You know what I'm saying? So that was one of the things that Hit Boy was like, yo, I got this track. Nipsey already told me that y'all, you know, me and Nipsey for real was cool too, like texting all the time. He really admired the relationship I had with my mom. He would always hit me up. You know, he was a real family man for real. So you know, I remember that Hit was like, you need to do this track. I'm like, all right. I remember I was writing to it and doing all these things to it, but I was also in a point where my mind was, it was kind of when I was trying to get back into the music and it wasn't flowing for me all the way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's not that I didn't want to do the song. I just couldn't find the inspiration to, like, I knew what I had to do on there, you know? So I go to Detroit and I take my mom to see Hamilton. I'm doing some charity work in the city. And I get a call that Nipsey got shot. And I remember my heart dropped and I was like, oh, fuck. Like, crazy thing is, I'm trying to see, I just texted him that week and I posted a picture of me and my mom, and Nipsey commented on the picture like with praying hands, right? I just saw that. So I'm like, okay, he gonna be good. He gonna be good. I was like, man. And then it kept getting updates because we got the same managers too. Me and Nip got the same managers at Rock. And they kept updating me like, oh man, I don't know, it's not looking good. And I was like, what? And then my homie called me and was like, man, they saying he might have got shot in the head. And I was like, I remember just being on the way to the airport, going back to LA, just crying, bro. Like, didn't know what the situation was. I just remember was crying. I remember I called Jhené. We was on the phone and she was like, oh my God, like everyone was just, the whole world was just like, please, bro. Because we knew Nipsey was on his way to enlightenment and a higher level of consciousness. You feel me? We knew that he was on his way. He was empowering Black people. Black business was his motto. He was, the marathon continues. That was it, you know? It was like, that was a mentality. So when I got the news that he died, and right when I got the news he died, there was a person walking past on the plane that had a Crenshaw hat on. And I just couldn't believe it. And I was and I bawled crying, bro. I think I cried till I fell asleep on that plane, for real, for real. So we got back to LA, and I remember that I did some stuff to the song, but it wasn't nothing really, you know. And I remember when we was putting the album together, and Hit Boy had the clip of Nipsey saying like, "I'm gonna lock in with Detroit," the clip that was at the end of the song. And I started finishing the stuff I was doing to it. And I remember Dom was in there. And I was like, this probably ain't gonna come out. And Dom was like, no, you gotta put that out, bro. Like, that's from the heart. You know, I feel like that's what bro would want. And when I hollered at Nipsey's people, they were all with it. You know, they were all like, no, he talked about this, you know, this is going to a good, you uplifted him, you carrying on his legacy. So it was a very important song for me.
It's so well done, bro. You know what I'm saying? So well done. And that's the way you want to make sure that there's purity from whatever, you know. I love how everybody's protecting Nip, how the family's making sure there's no goofiness going out with, you know, songs or craziness or features or somebody just cutting his name up, you know, because he wouldn't have stood for it here. You know what I'm saying? So just with that, man, I thought that was another one of the most beautiful reasons why it brought me to Detroit too, because we had it, we've been playing it on air, we just didn't have the full body of music. So now when you get the full body of music, bro, you're in a position where you really, like, I'm rolling to it. And every time I listen to it, Sean, I'm hearing something different. And that's what happens when you hold on to an album for like 10 years. Sometimes you'll go like, damn, that's what he said? Or that's what he meant? You know what I'm saying? I saw that you had said that Kendrick had got at you after he heard Deep Reverence. And it's sometimes, man, where the public speak louder than about a situation than the actual people that's supposed to be in this situation. You know what I'm saying? Two grown men. Where how did that call happen, or how did that get at you happen, and where are you guys so-called now?
No, actually, so I mean, we've been hollering at each other. That was one of the things that, like, that's why I obviously put that in a verse, because I feel like it was just on my heart. You know what I'm saying? And it was literally no, we had no animosity towards each other. It was literally just some outside shit that like, hey, I think he's talking about you when he said this. Hey, I think he's talking about you when he said this. And it was just like, you know, when we hollered at each other, it was we both came to the conclusion it was our egos and people just talking. Like,
Yeah.
it was important to have that direct dialogue, like brothers do and kings do. You know, like you talk, communicate, and it was all good. And as far as that dialogue after that, he didn't hit me up. I hit him up because I don't want to talk too much and like give too much business, but
Yeah.
you know, we was talking about some other stuff, and then he was like, I appreciate y'all, you and Nip gassed on that song, he said, or something like that, and like, appreciate the shout out, you know. He's, you know, I can't speak for him necessarily. I don't want to talk too much, but you know, it's definitely nothing but good energy. Ain't no time to be enemies with nobody out here.
Yeah.
It's like we already
Especially
facing
now.
we facing a whole type
Yeah.
of common enemy. You know, I know on the song I did the Friday Night Cypher on Detroit too with Eminem and the whole city, like a lot of the people from Detroit on there was like 4 or 5 people that had beefs on there. And I'm like, we got to unify. Y'all got to put all that beef shit to the side. We getting shot in the back. We getting choked out. Like, unless y'all have something, unless somebody did something to y'all mama, you
Yeah.
know, unless it's like somebody killed
Yeah.
your brother, then that's a different situation. But it's
Yeah.
like,
I think we can get through the bullshit.
if it's
You know
like
what I'm
a
saying?
territory thing or he said something about me or like, okay, bro, like it's not that time. So, you know what I mean?
Hey man, have you been in the gym, bro, or you just wearing smaller shirts?
No, I'm in the gym. I'm definitely in the
Yeah.
gym. Yeah, I
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
That was part of my,
Getting it
that
together
was
kind of
part of,
thing.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because it helped here too, taking that time out for yourself. You feel me? So it's
I
something
remember
I
I
take.
saw you like on a basketball court. I was like, man, this dude Photoshop skills done got immaculate. When I saw how you, I was like, man, go ahead, Sean. I was like,
Hey,
man.
hey, what's funny is I was looking at a picture I performed at one of your concerts a long time ago, and I had Cuddy on stage with me. It was me and Cuddy, and I had my shirt off, and then I was doing a side by side, and I look so different, dog. It's crazy.
Hey man, but it's crazy when you work on your urge. You know what I'm saying? Like I was over 500 pounds, and I was 500 pounds sexy anyway. You know,
Look
and
at
then
you.
I just
Look
worked on
at
my
you now.
urge. Now I'm sexy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like when you had your
Mm-hmm.
shirt off back then, you was probably like, man, look now you got an urge. You know what I'm saying? You didn't take your shirt off like, oh man, I look crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's crazy when we kind of start to look at ourselves, man. And it is true where you got to heal, you know, the mind, the body, and the soul. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's so therapeutic, bro, because we're not good to anyone unless we're good to ourselves. You know what I'm
That's what I
saying?
realized. That's what I
Yeah, man.
realized. And it's like I ain't do it to be. I ain't trying to be no like. I ain't trying to look like The Rock. You know that even though
Right.
that's my idol, it's like I love The Rock. You know, and he's one of my friends. But you know, I ain't trying to be big muscle. You know, I'm just trying to be in the best shape of my life. You feel me?
Yeah. What about shows, man? Do you miss shows? Do you miss traveling? Do you miss everything that come with the release of an album as well?
Yeah, I do. You know, I really do wish I could have had a, you know, release show or put a
Yeah.
tour up, and you know what I'm saying. But I do realize that it's a special time though. You know, I don't want to wish for something that I know I'm not in control of. So like, yeah, of course I want to get back to how I used to be, but obviously some things got to change. I feel like we in a cocoon right now. And if
Amen.
we ain't going there as the caterpillar. You can't come back out as the caterpillar. So we got to figure that
Yeah,
out.
man, spread your wings and fly away. It's crazy, man, how, and it's not like you said it or we said it or anybody, but you know, you be like, man, I wish I didn't have to work. Man, I wish I didn't have to travel, man. I wish I didn't have to, and now it's like, all right, I go, oh, okay.
I
Like,
know, it's like, oh shit.
yeah, yeah, here it is. What about when
I
you
was
go
definitely
out?
one of those people.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And
I was
now
definitely one of those people.
we on the shutdown. What about if you do go out to the store, somebody recognize that it is Big Sean? Are you doing pictures at a social distance, or you don't even go out?
I know I go out sometimes, like, yeah, I do pictures. Just make sure you masked up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't get too close, but you know, yeah, you gotta show love.
Yeah, man,
People
because
need it.
we would have listeners in here crowded around you. You know what I'm saying? Like we'd throw our own
Nah,
release parties, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
audience, yeah, audience right there.
hell
Everybody
yeah,
meet and
man.
greet, taking pictures.
Oh man, and that's what I'm saying too. I think it's gonna be burnt in our psyche for a minute too. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because I just nakedly shook a hand a few days ago, and Sean, it was in my head where I was like, okay. And I was at a photo shoot, and right when he put his hand out, I slapped it, and then I stepped right out and I hit the the sanitizer, then went and washed it. Like it's on us right now, bro.
Last night I had to go to 7-Eleven.
Oh, you took the L?
Actually, with Jhene actually. So
Hello.
she wanted to go to 7-Eleven, so I went up there with her, and
I would have loved to have seen that.
I was like mad. I was mad. I was like, man, fuck we doing at 7-Eleven right now?
Hey man,
go up at 7-Eleven. Hey, it was filthy in there, bro.
Do y'all walk in the 7-Eleven together, or y'all send somebody in? Like you said, one of them nasty ass.
It was one of them nasty ones. It wasn't like the clean ones. It was like one of them filthy ones. No, we walked in there together. Yeah, no, we ain't had no security. It was like late at night too. It was like
right.
1 a.m. or something like that. So
what were you buying at 1 a.m. at a 7-Eleven? You gotta stock up on those, bro.
No.
No, you do.
Snacks.
You should stock up on them though, man. And you can get them off of Amazon now.
Snack. No, she wanted the snacks, man. Come on now.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Yeah, at 1 in the morning, huh? All right, yeah. Perfect
Late
Cheeto
night
time,
snacks.
huh? Yeah. All right. You know what I'm saying? Hey, bro, whatever you going to 7-Eleven for, Sean, that's your 7-Eleven trip. You know what I'm saying? That's your 7-Eleven.
But point is, I was in there just like even exchanging the money. I'm like, ugh, like I'm a germaphobe already, so I'm like looking for the sanitizer.
You pushing the door on the way out, like, man, like I don't even want to touch this part of the shirt, man. You know?
Yeah,
I see
dude touched my hand.
Yeah,
dude touched my hand when we exchanging the money. I'm like, damn, like.
Hey man, and you know what? It's not bad. It's not like this was us before, or like oh, Sean stuck up. It's like, man, we here now, and I think everybody understand when you say, all right, you know, can we take a picture from here? Shit. Yeah, not at all. Oh, I know that.
No.
Yeah, but
let me just put in perspective. I got my mama in my house with me, right? My mama's 7. Oh, I don't want to say her age, but my mama is a little mature, and her best friend died from COVID.
Yeah, bro.
So my mom hasn't left the house. My mom been here staying with me since last October, so almost a year. So her best friend died from COVID. All my friends that I know, like literally like 8 out of 10 of like my friends on the, you know, all had COVID. Yeah. Some of them had asthma, so some of them thought they was gonna die. You know what I'm saying? It's a real thing. So I know it's been so close to me. People around me have had it so close that it made me paranoid a little bit and like extra protective. So it ain't even like it ain't nothing else but that, you know?
I just wanted to thank you for coming into the neighborhood, man, and thank you for your energy as always, man. And you've been A1 since day one with us, man. And, you know, I wish you nothing but the best, bro. And I'm so happy that you are in a better place. You know what I'm saying? And before we could get any, you know, Detroit 2, before we can get any shows, anything like that, man, the main thing we want is for you to continue to take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad you sat yourself down. I'm glad you're working on, you know, happier, you know what I'm saying? And I wish you nothing but the best, man. And thank you for another great body of music too, bro.
Man, it means everything, bro. Thanks for listening. Thanks for caring. Thanks for showing me respect, bro. Like I respect you in the exact same way. Like to me, you a master of what you do.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? You loved. You are a legend to me. So just thank you.
Keep going. Give me 3 more. Give me 3 more before you wrap up. You said I'm loved.
You're beautiful.
Don't lie to me like, oh, fuck. So I'm probably not even a legend either. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, you know what, bro? All that is done. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to tell you goodbye from the Terror Dome. My, how your hair has grown. You know what I'm saying? But no, man, but thank you for being in the neighborhood, bro. And God willing, we'll see you soon. If not, we'll see you on Zoom. Hello. Yeah, no.
Yes, sir. Thank you, bro. God bless you.
Easy call. Big Sean, ladies and gentlemen, in the neighborhood. Detroit 2 is available however you get your music. You know what I'm saying? And thank you once again for being in the neighborhood, Big Boy's neighborhood.